Hello and welcome back to this channel where we do and talk mental health. I'm Cristina Popescu, mindset and holistic coach, and today we have again with us Dana Popa. Welcome, Dana.
Good morning. Hello.
Good morning. We had a really nice talk in this morning. You are a psychotherapist for families, right?
Family, relationships, couple, family, individuals, and we are laughing about our families, and especially with our kids. Actually, not about the kids, but with our kids.
With our kids, they are so funny, and we were just having a discussion. We were amazed what kind of brain do they have, and if we don't break them, they are going to teach us how to do life.
Yes, and if you are listening to them, oh, it's amazing. It's amazing. Can you imagine once we were the same? And we lost it on the way.
And can you imagine if we don't help them to keep it, they will lead us when we are old?
Yeah.
They will lead our world when we are old. So parents, let's let the kids be kids and be creative.
Yes, and big kids, it's perhaps also a topic what we are going to do. You know, when we say big kids, that's the kid, big kid. Most of the people, they are thinking to be naive. You know, the kids are naive. They are not naive.
They are so smart.
Understand. They are smart. When we say let the kid be kid, means let the kid be this pioneering, you know, going, discovering, telling you, you know, coming back with the feedback on life.
Telling the government how to solve some problems.
Yeah. Yes, we can listen to them.
Yes, and they really have good ideas, and we sometimes
they have fantastic ideas.
I mean, most of the time parents tend to treat the children, oh, you're small, you don't know those stuff. And I remember my son is 7.5, and I had a discussion with him. I will tell you later when you are big. And he just stand on the chair and he told me, okay, am I big enough now? I just realized he is big enough. If he think of getting high, to be big enough.
You can talk with the kid every subject of the world.
Yeah.
According to the the age. And what I mean, according to the age, is not that they cannot know everything. It's just that sometimes you can give them too much, not information, but emotional load, which they cannot carry. That's the only thing.
Yes.
The information, the know-how, the being acquainted with the subject, it's okay.
With every subject.
Every subject, doesn't matter which subject, it's okay. Because this is their role, to know and to discover, and their brains are going very fast nowadays, much faster than 50 years ago, because they have all these devices, informations continuously around them. You know, the kids are talking nowadays. They are starting to talk and to see and even to communicate. You know, it's not only talking, because talking doesn't matter if they are starting with 9 months old or 2 years, but communicating is it's also, you know, we do it as non-verbal. Yes. And they are communicating from the day they are born.
Yes. And I was thinking, after a year, when already a year and a few months since they were home and homeschooled, and they were working on devices, and sometimes I try to figure out that device, and my kids was just like, Mom, just press that one. So they do understand more. And I remember about the subjects that we really can talk every single subject with them. I talk mental health, right? And it looks like it's so wide, especially because it's holistic mental health. And my daughter and my son, they were having a discussion in Dutch, which I can understand more now. And they were explaining each other what exactly mommy does. And their conclusion was, you know what? She just take the people, like everything they have, and she split it in pieces. That is holistic. And then she put them together and she teach them to be calm. And I was like,
see,
that's it.
Yeah. Actually, this is what you're doing.
Yes. And then because we talk about bullying in today's episode again, they explain and they understand. I thought, you know, bullying is so wide. It's sometimes adults ask me, okay, what exactly is bullying? And my son came to me and he said, you know, what I understand from bullying is that when someone has more power, or he believes or she believes that has more power, and just use it wrong. I was like, yeah,
True.
that's it.
It's true.
And he told me, you should say that in your videos because you say it too complicated.
Yes,
so
definitely.
so the kids really know. And today, because we talk about the kids, we are going to talk about the basis of what to do and how to prevent to get bullied, or what to do when you realize that you start to get bullied, or when you realize that you are bullied but you didn't know,
You were
you had
bullied.
no
Yeah.
idea how you
Yeah.
get there.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
let's talk this subject, as we start with the children and then go to the teenagers and adults. And why we start with the children, because the subject we talk about today, it's boundaries. And children, I think children know their boundaries, but we teach them, be respectful.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Often the
and
children,
some,
they do know their boundaries because they have, you can see also with a baby, a baby which turns its face,
yeah,
off.
yeah,
It's a boundary. I don't want to talk about it, or I don't want to be hugged anymore, or I don't want to eat anymore, or I don't
yeah,
want to drink anymore. It's a boundary already, a
yeah,
limit. And as the parents, we are wired in our brain, to take care, but to take care to overcompensate everything, also
yeah,
for a kid, a baby. So we say, no, no, another, just one time,
one
one
more.
sip, one bite, and then it's over. So what we are doing, we are crossing, this boundary, which is very natural. It's
Yeah,
a very natural boundary. If we respect that, there is no child will die of not drinking or eating at that moment.
yeah. And they will eat and drink later. And I know that
For
from
sure.
having two kids who
And for
it's
sure, and they
different.
will ask for it, for
Yeah,
sure. You want, of course, because you cannot have this chaotic day and the whole day, to do drink and whatever, and after
yeah,
a while, we can teach the kids, to have a kind of program which gives, a settlement and clarity and doing things. It gives us also more space to do other things. That's okay.
yes.
But dare to follow their limits. Dare as a parent to follow, and it's okay if they don't eat now.
The problem is when we teach them when they're small that one more bite, and then they grow in, and it's someone one more touch, or one more push,
Yeah, it
or
can,
one more,
yes, on one, yes,
so
because what you are learning is to you can how do you can carry, you can carry inside this more
yeah,
step, you are learning to go over it and not to feel it that much, or perhaps even if you feel it, to close your emotion.
yeah,
You're closing up your emotion, and then you put your feel aside, your emotion aside, and you go on.
yes. And
uh,
the problem
and
with
it's
that is,
okay the moment you are naming it,
yeah,
also to a child sometimes. Okay, I hear you need something to eat, or you are tired. I hear you are in distress, and perhaps you are in the middle of the streets, you don't have something, or it's okay, but then they can regulate their feelings.
yes,
You can say, okay, I can hear, I can see you. You need something to eat now. You're in distress. Listen to me. We still have half an hour. We're at home, and I will help you. I see you.
yeah,
It's not, I see you, and you can do it. It's okay.
yes,
Or, let's see. Okay, you didn't eat anything now. Perhaps if you have a bite now, just one, or to doing something, we can then play, and but I see you, I respect you, and if it's really not okay, it's okay. you
yeah,
know it's a kind of equilibrium, between um responding to the input, from
hmm,
inside, and postpone it a little bit, because also postpone it means regulation of your own feelings inside.
yeah,
We cannot do everything what we feel at that moment, because then now we are coming to the bullying.
yeah,
If you feel something, you have to act. No, you don't have to act. You have to learn that you feel something. You have to learn that it's okay to feel, but it's also okay to know what to do with your emotions or
Yeah,
that's what you're feeling.
exactly. Because what happens with the bullying is that it's a misuse of power. And the power is misused on someone who doesn't know exactly the limit. I'm thinking of myself as a child. I was taught to, be nice, be kind, don't say everything you have in your mind, and not with bad intention. It was just the culture and the
Yeah.
place I was raised. But I'm thinking now to my children, they are so free in saying, no, I don't want to go there, or no, I don't want to eat, or no, I have enough. And
Yeah.
sometimes my instinct is to, you have to.
Yeah.
And then my son is like, no, I don't have to do anything.
Yeah.
There's the blessing of growing in another
Yeah.
context and another society. But
Yeah.
at the same time, we see that there are so many children and teenagers and even adults bullied. Why boundaries is so important when it comes to bullying?
Well, boundaries is important for both parts, for the one who is bullying and the one who is bullied, the victim and the doer.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it's important, let's stay with the victim. When someone comes to you and it's bullying. Bullying can be in different ways, as
Yeah.
we say. Most of the time, the kids, are bullying by being pushed or being laughed at, or uh, someone takes, the toys away, or it's saying to you, "You're stupid," or verbally bullying.
Yeah.
Um, and it's very good, sometimes, one time to be laughed at or to say, "Hey, you're stupid," some kids, they say, "Okay, I don't pay attention to it,"
Mm-hmm.
but it's not okay. You have to pay attention to it.
Yes. Because
It-
just
it-
ignoring it
just ignoring doesn't help.
doesn't help.
No.
No. And it's
Sometimes it can
inside.
help, like, okay, it's my limit. I don't want, I'm very conscious. It's my limit. I don't want to go into confrontation with you now. I am going. If you are not going away, I will go away. But I'm going away not because I cannot, but it's my way of saying no.
Yeah. And I'm
Going away,
going,
it's also communication,
yeah.
It's saying like, I'm not available for you anymore. This is
Yes.
not my thing.
And going away not out of fear, but
No.
out of knowing that, okay, I am who I am and this is my limit and I'm
Yes.
walking away is different than walking away out of fear, and then the
Yeah.
bully will know. The
Yeah.
message that we send
Sometimes,
nonverbal.
well, fear. Now we're good because our brain responds to danger in three ways. Fight, flight, freeze.
Mm-hmm.
It's the way we are wired in our brain, and our amygdala. It's a very small part of our brain
Yeah.
which reacts first at danger.
Yeah.
And the brain doesn't know which danger is danger, what kind of danger.
Yes.
When you sense danger, you just sense danger, and our response is fight, flight, freeze. So you have actually instinctually, we have already mechanisms
Yeah.
how to react to something coming upon us where we are not agreeing with, where for us sounds like danger.
Yes. And the amygdala, what it does in our brain is to just store emotions and attach emotions to events. So can be a
Uh,
memory, for example.
yeah, yes, but
Yeah.
most of the time, amygdala is the part of the brain which say is danger, and you have these mechanisms how
Yeah.
to deal with.
Yeah.
This is danger, and we are reacting this way. So also a kid, now you see a baby doesn't want to eat anymore or something, or cannot face you anymore because you're too much as a parent or as a caregiver, doesn't matter, feels too much, are too much emotions or something. You see a baby is turning around.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's, for me, it's too much. It's a limit.
Yeah.
Later, a kid then can say, stop, or we learned, but also they can cry,
Yeah.
cry out, and I mean not only weeping, but really cry, screaming,
Yeah.
stop.
Yeah.
It's fighting. You are fighting back. You are becoming bigger, and then you start to stop. No, I
Yeah.
don't want you. Go
Especially
away.
between 2 and 4. I love that age. Oh,
Go away. Don't do it.
I don't want you anymore.
I don't want you anymore. I hate you. They are saying something because the emotions are so powerful that they don't know how to. Okay, so
and the amygdala is like, okay, this is danger. Do something.
Do
and
something.
Then we
Yes,
run,
and it's
freeze, fight.
yes, fight is like you are becoming bigger, you know, and
like,
then you.
I am the big one.
But you can also you can freeze sometime, you know, like helps also because when you don't respond, you know, the other one, it's also out of like, oh my god, I'm expecting a kind of response, you know. So it helps, it can help. Or you are going away, you are flying away, you know, running away, or you know, don't you say, okay, I'm going away. So all these basic reactions actually are there to help us.
And when we come to bully, for example, if someone choose to react, fight, freeze, or flight, for example, if I'm bullied and I choose to go away, but intentionally and conscious, like this is my boundaries, I'm going away, it's basically the other brain to the bully will recognize that because we have it in our brain, right?
Yeah,
so
we can recognize that, but and yes, the other one normally should recognize. But now if the one who is bullying, it's not, because this is also about regulation of emotion, and if it's not regulated, doesn't know how to do what is happening in him or herself, you know, the child, and will just clinch on it, you know, on the emotions and go for the attention, you know, and even more and more and more. That's bullying, because you are going on and it's repetitive, and you cannot stop.
So basically, when you see yourself, you find yourself in a situation that you are bullied, you see that is repeated over and over again, and then it's a need to decide how much is enough, when enough is enough, right?
And if you think it's enough now, the first time, it's okay. If you take, okay, I can take it 1 or 2 times, kids can, you know, they still can play, you know, and they say, okay, but the third time you can also, actually, you have to say from the very beginning, you know, I don't like this. I don't like the way you are reacting. I don't like it. If you go on, you know, look at me. I'm not your, you know, I'm not your victim. That's one. I know when my daughter, I told her, I think she was 4.5 at school, and one boy, he was used at home with elder brother and another two siblings, the two brothers, and he was used, you know, to play, you know, more roughly and to tease a bit, you know, to come. And she's the only one at home, so she was not that used, you know, between the kids to be so rough constantly. So he was, you know, constantly pushing her a little bit, you know, and teasing her and laughing. And, you know, she was coming home and he's teasing me constantly. I don't know what to do, you know. Okay, I was listening to say, okay, do you feel scared? No, it's annoying because I said to him, stop, don't do it. And he's just coming back and back. And I'm going away. And I was, you know, also I'd start to cry at a certain moment, and he was laughing. And she could also sense that he's actually kind, you know. Something there could see that he's kind, you know. It was so funny. And I said, okay, but it's your limit. You don't want to have this. It's stop. But how can I stop? I said, then you have to go back to make yourself very big, to look into his eyes and to say, you stop now. I am bigger than you.
I can imagine her.
And you have, if you know, you have to put your legs, you know, very straight in the on the ground, and to feel yourself, and you put your, you know, the breast in front and your hands in the middle, and say, you have to stop now. And you look, you don't say you have to stop now, because nobody will listen to you. You now. Go there and you put, you know, and you say, you stop now. That's it. And otherwise, if he's going on, you say, otherwise I'm going to the teacher or to my mother. You know, take someone who is bigger, who has something to say about it. Later you can say, I'm going to the police, I'm going to the judge, I'm going, you know, take something also outside of yourself, which can
support.
has a saying about
Yeah.
it.
And about body language, because you were talking about that, that is so important. Because what I've seen looking back, reverse engineering in my life, every time when I was bullied, I was making myself small, head down, just feeling small. And then when I, all of the sudden, like when I remember one time the bully said, you think that all of the sudden you become smart. So I was like, all of the sudden I woke up. But the body, the language, body language, it was like, I'm done. I'm done. It's enough.
Yeah.
They didn't stop, but it's like, I don't feel small anymore. And that the body language, it's so important. At the first, it can be triggering for the bully. Like, who do you think you are?
Yes.
It's important to know that you, as a victim, you need to stay still and big. Just feel big, and as you said, just get back up. Someone that is bigger than you.
Get back up.
Also, unemotional attached.
Yeah,
that's important. It's unattached emotionally.
Yes.
Yeah,
that's true. So the kids, they can, and also it's not all now we are thinking about the victim, because it was so funny with my daughter as well, where we were talking about this teasing at school. It was more like a teasing, but you have also teasing can become bullying, so you have to start there when it's teasing.
Exactly.
And she said, and she could also understand, oh, so if I'm stopping him, actually he can also learn something. I say, yes, that's it. The other one can also learn, because the other one is also busy with his own fears, perhaps needs, unmet needs. Perhaps he just wanted attention. I want to play with you, but I have learned to play more like more like teasing, even bullying at home. We are used as boys perhaps more to be physical and rough and laugh at, and you are not used. So you have to learn at that moment, that it's not only one way in life how to act. There are different ways. So also for the other one, it's a moment of, learning, a learning moment. Yeah.
And also for the standbyers, because it's a triangle that just feed each other there.
Yes.
And then when the victim has the courage to just stand for herself or himself, then the bystanders are like, oh, okay, so something is going on here, because they are in between, out of fear, as we discussed last time, out of many things. And then when they see the victim is standing and just grow big, then something happens in their brain too. We trigger and challenge them to think at the same time. And also, most of the time, I remember when I was in high school, and then when I asked Becca, because my bully was my teacher, and that was so much. It was just, she was big already.
That's misuse of power, at the top.
Yes. So then I was so afraid to tell. I was so afraid to, tell who. She's the teacher. I mean, I can go away from the school, but she is not. And then I was just brave enough one day to tell my dirigenta, how we say that in English?
The mentor.
Mentor, yes. And just I told, and the teacher was moved. The next year she was not in the school. I don't know exactly what happened, but when I had the courage to say something, another kid said something. And it's funny now, because one of the children had a parent with the decision making power in the school. So she was just gone. But I was so terrified to say. I remember that day I was just sweating, and I was so terrified because the power was too she was already.
Yeah, I know.
I had no idea that something will happen. So it was the end of the year, and then it was summer, and I should go back. And when I came back and she was not there, I was like, what happened?
Really?
It's because of me?
Yeah.
I was terrified and happy at the same time. And then I found out later that basically someone with the power of deciding heard about it.
But you see, you had also power over the situation. This is also what we have to learn. What we have to learn, our kids and also ourselves, is that we have also influence on the situation.
Yes, even if it feels like not.
If it doesn't feel, yes, it's not easy and doesn't feel like that, but we do also something. We cannot do nothing. There is no way that we will do nothing. We constantly do something, and
even
we constantly,
silence
is
doing something.
Is doing something.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
even being afraid, everything we do, we do something.
We communicate in one way or another. We communicate something. So it's also a choice what we want to communicate.
Exactly. So basically, what happens when you see yourself that you get bullied? So we teach the children and we teach ourselves. I think is it possible to teach adults to not get bullied? Or
For
it's
sure.
already built in?
Yes, for sure. For sure. I was posting yesterday something about the position of the women and what to teach our daughters, how to stand up to stand up for themselves and to basically to know that they have a house or a home. Always, when it's happening something, they always can come back home. And home can be to the parents, but if you don't have parents, your friends, you have a safe place to come back. Because a lot of people, and actually also men, are in abusive relationships. There are a lot of people being in abusive relationships, especially now. I will not say that especially now. It's I think it's from all the time, this. But for sure, some periods in the history are more stressed, and more like now we are for 1 year, more in lockdown. For sure, it's more difficult to deal with. Yeah, we just step on each other's toes every day, and then we are constantly but we have to learn, and so we can learn also later in life, that we are of worth and value, and we have something to say. And we always have something to say. We always have something to say, but it's also true that we have to learn also the other side. The bullying one, that this is not right. You have to you have a problem, and you have to deal with this problem. We are going to talk about that in the next some other episode, because it's so important to know that everything happens because we don't know what we don't know. And I'm sure that if the bully would really understand at the core of their mind and heart what happens with the other person when they do that, somewhere inside we do have this sensitivity and compassion and everything. We are just used to pile up a lot of pain over compassion and sensitivity and everything we have. And I think if we teach even the bully to be human, to just listen. It's about the boundaries. It's not just for the victim. Boundaries, it's also for the bully, because when he become or she become a bully, she or he cross their boundaries too. Yes. Right? Because they don't listen to their own fears inside and their own needs. Because they have also unmet needs, which makes them, also to cry out for attention, or for their needs, they're coming out, and they're coming out not in a smooth way. It's like children. They're very rough. It's like children. They get good attention, they ask for good attention or for bad attention. They will make you see them anyways. And that's happened with adults too. It's true that there is one small percentage in the human being which are not sensitive to any kind of remorse, or they don't have remorse and they are not sensitive to anything, but that's a very small percentage. And usually we don't meet them every day. No. For the rest, there are people who are, in their needs, and you actually, when the people are going, in treatment, like I'm working as a psychotherapist, you see that also the ones who are bullying and who are aggressive or addicted, it's also manifestation of what is happening inside. It's addiction. It's also kind of, it's also abusive. You abuse something. You abuse your own body, or your own body. Yes. And then you see that there is lack of compassion there, to themselves. And the others. Exactly. And for everything, I believe that in my mind is like this: when we are hurt, a hurt person will hurt others.
because we only can pour out what is in ourselves, right? So in order to stop bully, I will say, if we really want as society and world to stop bully, we need to take care of our basic needs.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
To just feel safe, feel love and connection, significance, and all those basic human needs. If we pay attention to our children, to ourselves, and we just listen to ourselves, and we say, okay, which of my needs are not met? This take practice, of course, and help, and professional help, and therapy, and coaching, and counseling, and mentoring, and talking with somebody to
I
make
think
you feel safe.
I think we need to put more into education, because the kids are going to school so many hours, and I think it's actually a part of the education should be education of the mind and soul, emotional and psychological education, mental education, because it's there for hours, so many hours in a week,
more than with us.
Sometimes, for sure, and for sure at home we have to educate them and to be there, absolutely. But school has also significance, importance in their life, kids' life, and I think we need more to make space for such education.
Yes, and that is a task to do. I was talking with my son and my daughter, the one who can understand more, and 9 and 8. I say it. See, I say it. The one who can understand more. The 4 years old
understand.
Exactly.
They all understand.
Can you see it? It's so built in us.
Yes. Yes.
And I was having a discussion with them. Okay, what do you need me to do for you so you feel safe, especially in this pandemic and everything? And they were like, but we are safe. You adults carry us. I was like, what? And he explained me, when a child is carried, if you adults let us be, we will solve our problems without aggression. But because you interfere, we are angry on you, and then we just hit each other.
Yeah.
And it makes so much sense, because if we don't pay attention at home how we react and what we do with our children, we might raise them as bully or a victim. So it's so important. So for today's takeaway, it's when you feel that you are about to get bullied, or you are bullied, or you realize later that you are bullied, just set your boundaries. Ask help.
Feel your boundaries, and ask help. If you cannot put your own boundaries because you're too scared or whatever, take call for help.
Someone bigger than you,
something. Yes. And if you are in a danger at home, a very abusive relationship, call the police, talk to your GP. There are a lot of how do you call it? There are a lot of
ways to
get help. And talk to your friends, talk to your family, about it. Don't be afraid to talk to your family. And if the family, sometimes they don't understand, okay, can happen. But talk to people who can understand this and who can be your safety net.
Yes. And if you're in a really abusive relationship at home, there are signs and there are ways to communicate how to get help without being visible. And I will put in the link below some ways to get help. In the Netherlands, we even have a code for it. If you are in an abusive relationship at home, as a woman or as a man or as a child, you just go walk into the pharmacy and just say mask 19, and they will know what to do. And also there is a sign, it's an international sign that was lately, and it's getting mediatized. Just make this sign, and then people will know that you need help. There are many ways. I will put in the link below how to get help, because we don't want you to stay in an abusive space and where you are not safe and just make yourself big, because that might be dangerous for you. So please check the link below and see that there are ways to ask for help without asking for help loud. Dana, thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you so much. It's nice to talk together every time.
Yes, we are coming back, because as we see, it's so amazing. Every time when we have a conversation, clicks make in my mind, and like bullying it everywhere. We just don't name it.
Yes.
And we go and do education on every single little detail.
Bullying is abusive, abusive behavior.
Yeah.
So,
and we can even abuse ourselves, bully ourselves.
yes, we can be good bulliers to ourselves.
And sometimes we are masters in it.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. If you are new here, just click the subscribe button and you will be notified every time when a new episode comes, every single Friday.